Greetings, I'm Caffeine Rage, and it's that magical time again where we play a new game. This time, if you excuse the segue, is Trine the Enchanted Edition. Trine was released in July 2009 by the Finnish developer Frozen Byte. And the reason why I'm touching on it now, outside of the fact that I enjoy this game, is that in July of 2014, they released the Enchanted Edition for free for all owners of Trine. So I thought it'd be a good time to take a look at it. Trine is a puzzle platformer with some physics elements thrown in, actually a lot of physics elements thrown in. And I've really enjoyed it in the past when I played it back in, I think about 2010. So it's been a while and I think it's time to take a look at it again. And of course I don't learn because I'm playing yet another platformer. So let's go ahead and get started, and there's a lot to cover, so there's things to talk about during the first few episodes. Let's go ahead and hit single player because I don't really have anyone that I'm going to drag into the multiplayer for this. So difficulty, once again, I'm going to go on medium. Even though it says for new players, the real difficulty in this is not the general enemies themselves I should say, but the bosses, which I'm not terribly sure is affected by this because it says it, at least in the past, it said that this affects, yeah, there it is, fewer enemy encounters. So I think this more affects the number of enemies we're fighting and not the difficulty of the enemies, because the enemies are, I'll be frank, one black mark against the game right away is that the AI is kind of stupid. Hardcore mode we're going to go off because, well, Hardcore offers an initial challenge by limiting the resurrection of dead characters and disabling any saving during the level. It can be selected for any difficulty setting and character mode. So we're gonna keep that off because honestly, there's some times that the platforming is a little iffy. So let's go ahead and get started because we have a few cutscenes to go through today. And let's go ahead and meet our fellowship. Is fellowship the proper term for this? Oh well, I guess we'll find out.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, a kingdom was prospering. But peace could only last so long. The old king died. With no descendant to the throne, the kingdom fell into chaos. Lust for power blinded warriors and wizards alike. New kings emerged, only to fall the next day. But the madness of men would soon be overshadowed by a far greater evil. The magic that once gave life and good fortune had transformed into something sinister. One by one, grave by grave, the dead began to rise, feeding off the energy that grew stronger with each passing night. Fear spread throughout the kingdom, and it was soon abandoned. On the outskirts of the kingdom, near the Astral Academy, a thief carried out her cunning plan. She had learned of an ancient object of tremendous value. The Astral Academy, left to rot in the face of the terrible enemy, had no one to keep the treasure safe. The time was right.
And here's our first...
Everything was perfect. She had made her way to the castle and would soon lay her hands on the treasures she so desired.
And here's our first, well, here is probably not the proper term for this, but our first playable character, the thief, who is the most agile of the group and has a ranged attack. Very handy on most situations, and probably a toss-up between her and the third character we're going to meet for which ones I'm going to play the most. Whoa! Tried to swing through that. I did remember that one at least. I can't remember if there's been a graphical upgrade, and I do have to admit that the game looks a lot prettier than it used to. But then again, I am playing on a lot stronger hardware than I played this game originally on, so who knows? It could have been a placebo effect on my part. because I am playing this.
Moon smiled at the thief as she made her way towards the shrine of ancient treasure. Strangely, the protective charms around the shrine allowed her to enter unharmed.
Okay, and let's go into what looks a lot like the Cave of Wonders from Disney's Aladdin, huh?
I got it.
As the thief lay her hand on the treasure, she had a tingling sensation. The thief would soon discover that fate had taken hold of her. Unknown to the thief, a wizard was just waking up. The wizard had taken a look in the spyglass and seen the terrible undead army. He was keen not to die.
By my trousers, I must escape.
He had been studying the stars and trying hard to learn the elusive fireball spell that all wizards ought to know. Of course, that was a lie. For you see, the wizard had a certain reputation with the ladies. What he had really been up to was the creation of a fake fireball potion that would have impressed the ladies and improved his status. The potion had backfired, causing a fortnight of sleep.
Yeah, not only is the wizard horny as hell, but he is incompetent. Just what you want in your magic users, huh? And the wizard, as you saw while the narration was playing, can summon different objects, and he's also able to manipulate them by, well, I'm using the mouse and keyboard, even though I would usually not use a mouse and keyboard for a platformer, just because it makes some of the abilities a lot easier to control. So it's kind of a weird game, like I said. Let's go ahead and open this up, and I'm going to knock down some of the experience. The experience is these orbs that well, actually, I can't knock them down. They're floating orbs. I think I can get up there. Yeah. Then we just weigh this down because this is a giant scale. Move this over. You see the physics part of this, huh? And flip that up, and for some more experience. I think that's actually all the experience in here, so let's go to the Cave of Wonders. I kind of feel sorry for the thief with the horny wizard coming up. Uh-oh. No one that's ever said that word in that tone had any good intentions.
My darling, why the painful look on such a pretty face? What is this object you are holding on to? How did you get here?
The wizard touched the thief's hand, and then the object. His hand got stuck.
What kind of trickery is this?
For once, the wizard was more interested in magic than anything else. He was also afraid for his dear life. But there was someone nearby who welcomed a challenge. At the other end of the Astral Academy, a knight had been practicing his own skills to battle the undead and prove himself worthy of joining the king's army. Between me and you, he did not quite understand what undead meant, but this was his chance to be the bravest knight of all. The knight felt it was his duty to protect the Astral Academy during this time of despair. He was on the lookout for anything unusual.
And here's our third character, the knight, the melee fighter of the group. He reminds me a lot of a character from my favorite Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy IX. The knight in that one, Steiner. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, at least. So, who knows? It could just have some odd pronunciation that I don't know about. But he has sort of the whole doofus knight thing going on. But he is very strong, so we are very thankful for that. Actually surprised I was able to get that.
The knight saw a faint light coming from the age-old shrine. Could there be a thief? Was this the knight's day of honor? He had sworn an oath to himself to protect the shrine and the academy. Nothing could stand in his way.
And here we go, our third character meeting up with the others.
What's going on?
The knight joined in, taking a firm grip of the object's third side, in a way that only a mighty warrior can.
Oh no, this doesn't bode well.
What doesn't bode well?
There was a flash of light, and the wizard, the thief, and the knight simply disappeared. Our new heroes were overwhelmed by the effect of the mysterious object. The wizard tried hard to remember everything he'd learned of the shrine and its artifact. His mind raced through ancient tales and legends. Finally, the wizard remembered. The treasure, the ancient object, was a device that could bind souls together. How it worked, he did not know. But he knew that it was connected to the legend of the Guardian, whose earthly remains had been buried in the catacombs deep underneath the Astral Academy. The tomb resided right below the shrine. The wizard could not explain it, but he was sure the object was called the Trine. The knight didn't care. A more pressing concern was on his mind.
And we have a title. And our first level.
It's all her fault. We must take her into custody. She stole the king's treasure.
Did you not understand a word I said? It is not treasure, it's an ancient object, the Trine. I believe it has bound our souls. We are stuck together.
But she...
The thief remained silent. She was waiting for the right moment to escape, hopefully with the treasure and without the pair of fools.
I think I know how we can use the device as we like.
And that's enough bickering for now, I guess. Yeah, I'm able to swap between all three of them just by tapping the number keys, or I believe, yeah, the CMV key also goes between them, but honestly, I'm using mouse and keyboard, so I may as well just use 1, 2, and 3. Oh, don't want to be there because I'm just a pinata for the ranged attacker. Well, can you shoot a pinata with an arrow? I guess you can, but that's beside the point, isn't it? That's what I meant by the UI, or sorry, not the UI, but the AI in this game being a little funky. See the skeleton at the bottom of the screen? Just running in place. Yeah, he's completely stuck there. So let's put him out of his misery.
They don't scare me. On guard!
Ah. Let's go ahead and hit the checkpoint here. Because I think there was experience up there, and that is... Getting experience early is always nice. Yeah, there is a little bit of experience up here. Because, well, it unlocks some abilities. Let's do a manual override of this wall. And then continue on.
Oh, what have I got myself into? We have to find a way to reverse the spell, to undo the magic. The Tomb of the Guardian in the catacombs may have the answer, and it's not far away.
The present up at the top of the screen is actually something that wasn't in the base game. It was added, I believe it was a year later for the Steam Winter Sale of 2011. I'll go ahead and grab it just to show you how to get it, but I got this achievement ages ago. It was for, if I recall, if it's the one I think it is actually for the giveaway that they had all the coal in, that you had the chance to win every game on Steam. And yes, every game on Steam. This was, of course, before they had trading cards and all that business. So they had the giveaways linked to achievements instead. And this game was also pretty cheap at the time, if I recall correctly. And I don't know if it was in a Humble Bundle yet. I know this was pretty early in the Humble Bundle time.
Oh, that's just great.
And the winter sale is actually the reason why the Humble Bundle actually has a $1 minimum payment now to get keys, because people were abusing it. Yeah, lovely history, huh? Abuse a charity organization for a chance for free games. But then again, people are jerks at times. Of course, I'm not saying I'm immune to being a jerk at times, but at least I don't rip off charities. Can I get that experience orb up there? No. I think that's one that I actually have to come back for. Oh. Oh. And it would help if I didn't kill my thief. The characters do revive once you hit a checkpoint. Oh. But losing one between checkpoints is kind of bothersome because you lose some abilities. And it can make life a lot harder than it really needs to be. Did I just land on that guy? Didn't know you could really do that. Granted, I never really tried to kill someone Mario style in this game. And I do love dropping different objects on the skeletons, which that is another criticism I have, is that the game does love to run the same enemies. Well, it's this one first, isn't it? And then that one. And this one. Yeah, the puzzles, at least in the beginning, are fairly simplistic. But they also are... they kind of come back to you when you're playing. And honestly, I did play this a little bit beforehand to try to get the feel for... Ah, shit. I was on the wrong character. That's what I get for talking too much, I guess. And I probably should be wrapping things up before all too long. Come on. I do want to get a little bit further. Oh. There's a button up above me that I need to hit. Why am I doing this the hard way? Sometimes the summoning... to summon the different objects with the wizard, you have to draw a shape. And sometimes the game doesn't quite recognize what shape I'm drawing. But then again, not a lot of games do that. Do the shape roll recognition, I guess is the proper term for it. Where it tries to figure out what you're doing based on what you drew. I know Akami did it, even though I never really played that game. Yes, I know. That's a game that I'm probably going to have to go back and play sometime, and who knows, maybe do a series on. And I know Black and White did it. Black and White did it actually surprisingly well, all things considered, because that is a very old game. And a game that didn't quite live up to the promise. But not for its ability to recognize shapes. Oh, no, I need the thief. Ah. That is very tough to avoid the damage on. At least at this stage, you could come back later and do it pretty easily. Come on. You're dead. Again. I mean, to be honest, can the undead ever really die?
They don't like us being here.
Huh, well, that was kind of pointless going up there. I do remember the treasure over here. You can see how the physics is kind of a little wonky there.
Uh-huh. This looks very nice. Perhaps this journey isn't for nothing. Let's strike a deal. I'll help you find whatever you're looking for, and I get to keep all the jewelry.
I must say, that necklace looks very good on you. It's a deal.
Captain Beerheart would not approve of this.
Yeah, the wizard's still trying to get in her pants. Not that I can blame him, of course, but come on, man. There's other things to take care of right now. Can't remember which way to go. Actually, is up or down? I'm sure the wizard would have a comment on that one, but that's beside the point. A little Spider-Man action to just get across here. Yeah, this looks like the right way. Do want to finish this level before calling it a day, though. Oh, if I can. Not terribly sure how far I am away, though. So I may just call it here then. Oh. Well, we'll go ahead and get that experience up there because I think, no, I still need a little bit more before I could level up and show you that system in detail. Let's go ahead and spin this. Stop it. Spin it a little bit more, and up there. Simple-ish. Oh. Yeah, like I said, the physics is sometimes a little wonky, but usually works. So let's go ahead. I think there's a checkpoint right here. No, there's skeletons. All the... I didn't... Well, I'll cover combat a little bit more in the next video, because there's actually a lot of combat in this game. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap things up here at this checkpoint. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with more Trine.